Vancha kalpakarubhyascha kripasindhubhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vatsali Shri Gaura Bhattavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much for inviting me here today. They asked me to speak about Mayapur community, and so I will try, as far as my understanding and knowledge goes, to say something about Mayapur, which is one of the holiest places in the universe because of the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. So, Mayapur is quoted in many scriptures as a holy place. There are many holy places in Bharatvarsha in India and of course around the world, but some are more powerful than others. Also says that all the holy places in Kali Yuga, the power goes down. But Mayapur is the only holy place where the power is coming up. So it has a particular Shakti to bestow mercy on the people who visit the place and reside in the place. So this was the ardent desire of our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, that we establish a center in Mayapur. So in 1972, Srila Prabhupada sent His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj from Calcutta to Mayapur. He went by train. At the time there was no ISKCON center there, and there was mostly rice fields. And there was only one temple which was the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, called Sri Chaitanya Janmastan. Of course there are many other places, but they were very small, and there is a Ganges flowing to the place, and also the Jalangi river. So it's in the middle of the conjunction of two rivers, which is called Triveni. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj went in 1972, and after going for a few days he established to speak to some local devotees, senior devotee, Gauriya Math, who were there, and he was introduced to some landowners, and he purchased few small pieces of land, maybe 1 or 2 biga. 3 biga is 1 acre of land, so he purchased less than an acre. And Srila Prabhupada was very happy. So he told his disciple to build a hut where he could reside. So the devotee built a small hut, which is still there, made of bamboo and hay roof, and chattai, which is a whip bamboo for wall. Very simple. And they put one hand pump. They dig a hole into the ground and put a filter, and there was water available. So then Srila Prabhupada came there after some time, and he started to explain about how this old Mayapur will become a big city where 50,000 people will come and live there. So he started to say, here we should have a long building, here we should have a temple. And he also established the foundation stone for the new temple, which is being built today, still going on, the TOVP, Temple of Vedic Planetarium, according to his desire. So Srila Prabhupada marked a foundation stone, and slowly he sent few devotees there to reside there and to start to get acquainted with the culture of Bengal. And of course he sent His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, who very quickly learned Bengali language, and he started the construction of 2 buildings. The Lotus building was built later, first, and that was the place where the deity were installed, Shri Shri Radha Madhava, on the ground floor. And the top floor, there were rooms as guest rooms, and there was a quarter of Srila Prabhupada, it's still there. And so when Srila Prabhupada moved into the building, it was unfinished building. You can see the photograph of the staircase going up, it's all cement. But Srila Prabhupada was really, really happy with the endeavor of the devotee to establish this center, because Srila Prabhupada wanted that all the devotees from all over the world, they come at least once in a year to recharge the spiritual battery and go back to their place and preach Krishna consciousness. Of course, in Navadvip Mahatmya it says that anybody who visits Mayapur, even for 3 days, is like it's performing thousands of Ashwamedha Yajna. Even by sleeping there, it's considered he has performed all type of tapasya and yoga, and every step he does is like visiting all the holy places in this universe. So it's a very magical place and potent. In fact, by residing there, one naturally awakens the propensity to love Krishna and to serve in association with the devotee, the inclination to chant his holy name. And so it's an experience which I think all of you should have sooner or later. Of course, some devotee had been there, Prabhu and many others. And so then slowly Srila Prabhupada said that after the Lotus building was built, he told His Holiness Jayapataka Swami to build a long building to accommodate more devotees. And that the first Gaur Purnima festival there, they built a big main gate, and there was a kitchen where they used to cook for all the devotees. So in the beginning it was really austere for the Western devotee because there was no proper food, they didn't have much money, they didn't have much Lakshmi to go by, and their prashana was very simple, khichdi, and if the Bengali devotee cook, they put a lot of chili inside. So this devotee has so many stomach problems, loose motion, mosquito bites, so it's really austere and tough to live there, but somehow they adjusted and they performed many austerities. Like His Holiness Jayapataka Swami used to go by bicycle from Mayapur to Krishnanagar to purchase cement bag or nails and whatnot. So it's like 27 kilometers going, 27 kilometers coming back in a bicycle, and sometimes used to come back and there was no prasadam. So it was really austere. But as the time went by, many devotees started to contribute from all over the world and donate for the Mayapur project. And the time I reached in Mayapur was 1979, so it was in December. I met the devotee in Kathmandu, they picked me up, the Sankirtan party from Mayapur. I was a hippie traveling in Himalaya, and I was already there for 1.5 years in India. So I was really inquiring about the absolute truth, and after meeting so many guru and so many sadhus, so many pilgrims, and visited so many temples in India, I was more confused than before. You know, who is God? When I was in Italy, of course, I came from a background of Christian Catholic church, been living in Rome. So every week we have an hour of religious study, and we used to ask our Padre Francesco, so you have any questions? I say, yeah, I would like to know who is the father of Jesus. You say, yeah, I'm the son of God, so who is God? And they say, well, you know, you have to have faith, you know. I say, I have faith, but I want to know. But they didn't know themselves, so it was kind of difficult to understand for them. And I was a lot of time discussing with my friend about reincarnations. Sometime I went to my grandfather and asked him, okay, what happened after death? I said, why you're so young? Why you're asking about that? Just grab some bicycle and chocolate and ice cream and go and enjoy life. This is not the time. So anyway, this inner desire to know more about the truth, because in my understanding, from when I was a child, was like, what is life all about? People grow, they get married, they have children, they become old, they work and they die. And so what's the ultimate goal of life? What's the story? What's the secret? Why everybody works just for this? You know, if you work so hard and then you're going to lose everything, it didn't make any sense to me. So many things like that, you know. And of course, in the scientific world, they used to teach in the school that there is only life on this planet. So in the night we go, a beautiful sky full of stars. How come God created all these stars and there is nobody there? Only this planet is populated by people and everywhere else is empty. It didn't make any sense. So anyway, in due course of time, through my experience of my life, I came to India and finally I met the devotee. And when I met the devotee, I realized they were very special people, and they were not just speculating, they were not just improvising, imagining. They were speaking on the platform of the Bhagavad Gita or the scriptures, and they were knowing the truth, because Krishna revealed himself through these scriptures and to the realization of devotional service. So when I came to Mayapur, I thought, wow, this place is so beautiful. And the bank of the Ganges. Meeting with the devotee was like meeting some old friend that we don't see from a long time. And the devotee were always very happy, very blissful, chanting and dancing and taking prasadam and philosophy and a lot of opportunity to the service. So it was a very blissful life. I met many other Italian devotees, Satvik and Madhusevita Prabhu and many other, who inspired me to remain there and study. They say, okay, if you want you can spend a few months with us and study the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Of course, you know, no one is tying you with a chain. You're not in jail. If you want to go back, you can go anytime. So I took this opportunity very seriously and started to go into the Bhakti program and learn the Brahma Samhita, Upanishad, and memorizing sloga, waking up early in the morning, taking shower, going for Mangal Arati. So it was really blissful and very nice experience. So then, of course, we traveled in Sankirtan party for about 10 years. We traveled all over India. I love traveling, I love meeting people, I love seeing new places and scenery. So this was a great opportunity for me. It was like Krishna satisfying my innermost desire to travel and see the culture of people, how people live, experience their way of life. So we traveled all over India, from north to south, east to west. We went also to Nepal. We went also to Bangladesh. And we met a lot of wonderful devotees. And also, as a devotee, you have opportunity to come more in direct contact with the culture of the people, because you enter into the family of people that allow you to see how they live, and they're more open. You know, that's the difference if you go traveling as a tourist, where you go to the hotel and you pay and you meet a few people, but it's different. And so by performing devotional service, I was becoming more and more happy. By chanting the holy name, I felt great happiness in my heart, which I never experienced before. And I was thinking that, well, this is what I was looking for all my life. Although I tried so many different type of experiences in life, but this was the topmost experience of happiness, because I think when we start to chant Hare Krishna, we are connecting our self, our soul, our heart to the Lord, and the Lord revealing Himself to us as well. So Srila Prabhupada always is saying that two things are very important in devotional life: sincerity and honesty. So we have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to be very sincere, so we can progress in spiritual life. So then I remained there until 1984, performing devotional service, and we did a lot of festivals. It was a constant festivals, in a Krishna conscious life. There is a lot of festival, there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of flowers, there's a lot of wonderful things to eat, thanks to all our great cook here, and everywhere. So prasadam is always a very powerful tool. One thing I want to share with you, that before I met the devotee in Kathmandu in 1979, in 1974 I was in Rome with my friends, and we're sitting in a big square where there is no car. It's called Piazza Navona, and we saw the devotee coming in Harinam, from one road, and they enter into this beautiful square. We were sitting in the foot of the steps of a big church, and we saw this devotee coming and chanting and dancing, and they were so happy. And I said, well, who are these people? They had shaved their head, they had one mark on the forehead, they were wearing a bed sheet, and they were so happy, and I said, whoa, look at these people. And then they came in front of us, and one lady came with a basket full of cookies or cake, and she distributed to all of us, and we eat them, we thought, wow, that's so good, can I take one more? She said, yeah, please, take one more. I said, do we need to pay anything? She said, no, this is free. And then they start chanting again, and they laughed. And I remember telling my friend, wow, these people are great. I don't know which planet they came from, but they look like they're happy, they're chanting, they're smiling. On top of everything, they're giving free food to everybody, which is delicious. These are the best people I have ever seen. So I guess the prashana, the seeds of prashana went in my heart, and then eventually I also became a devotee. So prashana is a very powerful tool for preaching to newcomers. As Maharaj was telling the other day, sometimes we can just distribute prashana and say, oh, it's the birthday of my brother, so I'm giving some sweet. We don't have to tell it's prashadam, because sometimes people, they're like, what is prashadam? This is something strange name, or what is spiritual food, or what if there is some drug inside? I don't know what people think. But sometimes we distribute a lot of prashadam, and personally I can see in the last 40 years I distribute a lot of prashadam even amongst my family members. And many of them, they did become devotees, my brother, my sister, even my mother. They all came to India, they spent time with us, and they really appreciate devotional life. So till '84 I was in Mayapur. Then I was requested to go by my spiritual master to go to Chennai. At the time it was called Madras. And somehow or another I ended up becoming the temple president. For 6 years I was there, and it was very nice, a static small temple. We had a rented house. We had around 30 devotees, and 20 went in Sankirtan. We had a van, went traveling in South India. As you know, in South India there are many beautiful temples like Sri Ranga and Tirupati, and many beautiful ancient temples, even from other yuga, other kalpa, I don't know. No one can understand how they build those temples because they are very intricately carved with granite and many inscriptions on the wall which no one can read even today. But very beautiful temple. Some of them are self-manifested deities. That means due to the power of devotion of some devotee, the deity of Krishna manifests there for their pleasure. So these are called, very special places, Dibya Desham they are called. See, there is a description in the Vishnu Purana that the Lord Vishnu, was feeling very, very painful to see the living entity in the material world rotting and wasting their time and suffering because they were separated from him. So he called all these alankar, means the Lord has so many ornaments. He has a mala, he has a bracelet, he has a Brahmin thread, he has weapons, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So these are all persons. So he called all these personality and said, I want you to go and execute bhakti and establish bhakti in the material world because people are suffering and I want them, like my son, to come back to me. So the alwars, there are 12 alwars who appear in different places in South India. And one of them is a lady also. She is called Andal. This personality, they were not born from people. They appear. One of them appeared in a small pond. This Andal appeared under the Tulsi tree. So they all mysteriously appear by the blessing and by the will of the Lord, by His desire. And as they manifest, they start to preach Krishna consciousness in South India, and many of them, they establish temple as well. So each one has a separate story and pastimes. Some of them, they meet together also, and they start to recognize each other. So, and of course, one of them was a king, King Kulashekara. Prabhupada mentioned in the books. King Kulashekara was one of the alwars, and he was a great bhakta of Lord Ram. So much so that every day they used to read for him the Ramayana. So he got great pleasure and enthusiasm in hearing the pastimes of Lord Ram. So one time the priest who was reading the Ramayana, he had to go for some other duty. He had to go for some marriage or something. So he left his sons, and his son told him that please you continue tomorrow my seva or reading for the king. So he said no problem. So when the son was reading, he came to the passage where Sita has been abducted by Ravana and then kidnapped, and she's flying away and is taken to Lanka. So at that time the king could not tolerate. He got up from his throne and he called the chief of the army and said, let's go and defeat this rascal Ravana. Call all my army, the elephant, call everybody, the horses. He had a big, huge army. And the minister said, please, 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 no need, No, you have to follow my order. So they all marched into the Ramasetu, which is the point where the bridge was built by Lord Ram to go to Sri Lanka to defeat Ravana, And no one can say anything because he's the king, he's powerful personality, he's convinced that they have to go there, At that point when they are inside the water with the army, the Lord Ram appeared and say, hey, wait, relax, go back. That's my job. I had to go and pick up my Sita. You are the king. You just go and do your duty. Then turn around and go back. So he was such an ecstatic personality and king. Of course, he wrote the Mukunda Mala, which we can read, which is a very beautiful text where he describes his great devotions. So like that, also this other Andal, she described all pastimes of Vrindavan, Krishna from when he's a baby with the gopis. And she was a very wonderful personality. And she grew up into a beautiful, beautiful girl. And so his father used to make garland for the deity of Ranganath, of Sri Rangam. And then, unknown, without the knowledge of the father, she used to put every day the garland on herself and see how will it look on the Lord. So the father used to take the basket and take it to the pujari, give it to the pujari, and the pujari put it on the garland on the deity. But then the pujari saw that there was a long hair, entangled in this mala. So he called the father and the father of the girl, and he told him, look, what is this? How can I offer contaminated, garland to the Lord? This is not proper, and who belongs this long hair like this? You have a daughter. So he put two and two together, so he's saying, okay, I'll be more careful, I'm sorry, I'll make another one. So he made another mala, they discarded the mala, he made another one, he brought it to the Lord. When they put it on the Lord, boom, it falls down. And then the pujari tied it again, put it on the Lord, again, boom, fall down. 100 times he tied it, 100 times it fall down. So the pujari gave up, he said, I don't know, something wrong, something went wrong. So in the night he got a dream. The head pujari got a dream and said that, look, the Lord appeared and said, look, she is my beloved devotee, and I will not wear any other mala unless she put it on herself. Now what happened? The father went back and scolded his daughter and said, what the hell? How can you contaminate the mala, And he hid and see what she was doing, She was trying to see if the mala was looking nice on the Lord. So the next day the pujari go back and tell him that, look, I had a dream. This is weird, but the Lord appeared and say, you will not wear any garland unless it's worn by your daughter. He said, what? Are you for sure? Are you really saying this? He said, yes, that's what the Lord desires. That's His desire, that's what He wants. We want to please the Lord, whatever it takes. So he went back and he told his daughter that you have to wear this mala every day. And she was saying, really? Are you sure? You scold me, I should not wear this mala. She was perplexed, but she said, okay, whatever the Lord wants, I will do for the pleasure of the Lord. So every day she used to put the garland and see how it will look on my Lord. So then the story goes, and then she grows up into a beautiful maiden, and now the father is thinking, okay, now this is the time you should get married, because you are coming to an age that you must be getting married. And she said, I will not marry any human being, I will only marry my Lord. And the father said, how can you marry the Lord? The Lord is a deity in the temple. For the last thousands of years, He's there, giving darshan to the devotee. But she was very adamant to say, okay, whatever, but I will not marry anybody. I will only marry the Lord. So the father was perplexed, he didn't know what to say, he didn't know what to do, But then again, in the night, he had a dream. And the pujari had the same dream, that we should perform the marriage of your daughter with the deity, which is strange. I mean, nobody married the deity, nobody think, okay, I want to marry Krishna, I want to marry Gaurnida, Krishna Balaram, something. It's unusual. But in the dream of the father, in the dream of the pujari came the same exact dream. Not only that, the Lord said, I want you to arrange this a very grand marriage. You have to carry this girl with the palanquin, with the elephant, with the decoration, with the band. Wow. So the father goes back to the pujari, and pujari says, I had a dream. And they're like, what? What dream you had? He said, what dream you had? And they start to speak and they find out it's exactly the same dream. And then they say, okay, now what to do? This is the desire of the Lord. As a devotee, we want to do everything which pleases the Lord, because that's our goal, that's our life. So they arranged a big marriage, they arranged a big, pandal with all decoration and flower, and the elephant went in procession, and the palanquin, the carrier, and there were the trumpet man with the drum man and the band. So the old Ganga was in a festive mood, and everybody said, what's going on? And she's getting married. She's getting married to whom? She's getting married to Ranganath, to the deity. And everybody was jai, jai, jai. So they all went to see this beautiful marriage. And as you see, like when we do initiation here, there was a big fire yagya, the brahmanas, and they were studying Mangala Sutra, a gold chain, and there was a change of garland. They bought the Utsava Murti of Ranganath, which is this big, and they performed the marriage. And then, okay, after the marriage, she said, I have one request. I said, yes, I would like to go on the altar and you close the door, I want to see my Lord. And the Pujari said, yeah, sure, of course, he's your husband. So she went inside the altar. It's a small, it's big. The Lord is laid down. It's almost as big as this. And he's laid down. Is the Lord laid down? Is Vishnu laying down? And there is a Utsamurti inside. And there is from the navel Brahma. And there are sages there. So she went inside. They closed the door. They rang the bell. And then after some time they didn't hear any sound. So when they opened the door, the girl is gone. She was not there anymore. She went to Vaikuntha. So these are very mystical experiences of the Alvars. So anyway, the Alvars came and preached and propagated bhakti all over South India, everywhere. They travel all over. And so similarly, the Lord feel great pain in his heart. So he came himself in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he chose to take birth in West Bengal, in Nadia district, in Mayapur. And that's the place under the neem tree, that's why it's called Nimai. So the Lord came to propagate the Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the holy name, and experience himself the love that Radharani has for him. Sometimes Krishna thinks, why Radharani love me so much? Why am I so attractive? So he wants to experience that attraction. So he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani. So that separation of love, and experience the mood of where is Krishna, where is Krishna. So he came and he propagated from when he's a child. If you listen to the pastimes, from when he was a small child, he used to cry a lot, but when the other ladies would chant the holy name, he will stop crying. So he did so many wonderful activities, and he studied, in the school. Then he grew up, and he was very naughty, like all the children are. So he performed so many mischievous pastimes. He used to go with the friends to the Ganges and take bath every day after school. And they will go there and do all kind of things. Sometimes the Brahmanas used to come and complain to his father, to Jagannath Mishra, say, you should control your son. I said, what? He's a nice boy. No. When I'm chanting Gayatri, come and pull my leg under the water. And then I slipped down and almost drowned. And then some other person said, he came and spit Ganges water in my face. And the lady come and complain and say, oh, he changed the cloth, we cannot find our sari anymore after we take bath. The young girl came and complained to Sachimata, your son is not very nice, he came to me and I was going to the offering to the Lord and he snatched the plate and he said, why you're offering to the Lord? I'm here, how can you eat it? I am the Lord. And then another girl say, oh, you come and tell me you should marry me, I am the supreme. So it's, what is this, So the father and mother said, okay, we have to control our son, we have to punish him, we have to do something, So the father sometimes he goes to school and see if he's in the school, if he's studying. But he used to be very, very naughty. Sometimes he bunks school, he go and take bath, and with a friend they're playing the Ganges, then they come back home. But when he come back home, he put all the ink on his fingers so it look like he's been in school. And then he say, what? How these people complain so much about my son? He's such a nice person, he's such a nice boy. So like that he performed many pastimes. And these are all can be listened from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, which are very, very, very nice. Sometimes we imagine that when Krishna comes, everything is perfect, but it's not like that. He enjoying his relationship with the devotees. So he does many, many pastimes with his friends, and of course with his father and mother, with his brother, and his close associate. It's said that the Lord, when he comes, he never comes alone. He always comes with his associates, close associates. So the Panchatattva, is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Gadadhar, Advaita, Srivas. They all came also along with many, many other devotees. And they perform Harinam Sankirtan. So they used to go to Srivas' house, close the door, and all night they will sing and chant and dance in ecstasy, and then people will listen and say, what is this? What is this guy doing? Why they're closing the door? Why they're chanting so loud? Because at the time there was Muslim rulers, so they say, if the Muslim listen to this, he will punish all of us, we will have to go away, we'll lose our property. Somebody who were great offended, they think, oh, this guy, they're getting drunk and they're dancing all night. Many different speculations. But sometimes Lord Chaitanya used to chant and dance and all night. And sometimes, for example, in Sriva's house, there was his mother-in-law one time. She wanted to see the dancing, so she hid behind the basket in a corner. And Lord Chaitanya stopped and said, I don't feel so blissful today. Is there anybody else in this house? She was like, no, nobody's there. And we'll close the door. And then he started chanting. After some time he stopped. He said, I don't know, I'm feeling something. I don't feel the same bliss. So they all went and checked and they found this old lady hiding behind the basket. And then they escort her out, and then Lord Chaitanya start dancing again, blissful. Also another time, for example, there was a brahmachari who was to live only by drinking milk. So he expressed his desire to Srivas, please, let me see one time at least the Lord dancing. I had this great desire in my heart. And Srivas said, look, I know you are pure, I know you are a nice person, but I cannot allow because Lord Chaitanya will be upset. But he said, please. After pestering so much, he said, I will hide in a basket somewhere, and then I can see through the hole of the basket Lord Chaitanya's dance, and my heart will be completely satisfied. So then Srivas agreed. He made him enter inside the basket, he closed the basket on top. And then Lord Chaitanya started dancing again. He stopped and said, I don't feel the same ecstasy. Is there anybody in this house that we don't know? No, there's no sinful people here. Everybody's nice. They're all devotees. Then he started chanting again. Again, after some time, he stopped. He said, I don't know. I don't feel nice. Srivas, what's going on? Who is in this house? Then Srivas revealed. He said, actually, my dear Lord, there is one nice brahmachari, he is only drinking milk. And that's how he sustained his life. And he wanted to see your darshan, wanted to see your dancing. And Lord Chaitanya became very, very angry. He said, you think that just people by drinking milk can become self-realized and they can see my dancing? Where is that rascal? Bring him here in front of me. So he bowed his small brahmachari, was trembling. My Lord, he said, you will go to hell, you rascal, you sinful man. Go away from here. So he went away. But in his heart he was feeling, oh, whatever, maybe I go to hell. It doesn't matter. I've seen the Lord dancing. It's so beautiful. I can never forget it. Because he was thinking like that, the Lord said, call him back. So he called him back, Suklamba Brahmachari, and he blessed him. He said, be a nice devotee. Don't think austerity is more important than devotion. So there are many, many pastimes in Mayapur. You can come, and if you like, you can come. We have parikramas. We have one in October and the other one in March, where we visit all these holy places where Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda performed the pastimes. So these are all beautiful places. They're all around within 20-30 kilometers from Mayapur. Some places are in Navadip side, some places in Swarupganj across the other river, but many are there in Mayapur itself. So there are many beautiful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and simply by hearing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya we can become purified and develop love for Krishna. Because that's our ultimate goal, is to get Krishna Prem, to develop love for the Lord, so that only will qualify us to go back to the spiritual world. As Maharaj explained many times in the class, it's not by yoga, it's not by austerity, it's not by doing so many different things that we can qualify ourselves to go back to God, but only by developing pure, unalloyed love for Krishna, which will qualify us to go back home, back to God. And we can do it in this one lifetime. If we sincerely and honestly dedicate our life in the service of the Lord without any other desire, then we can develop love for Krishna. And then by the service we are performing for the Lord, even if we forget the Lord, in the last moment of our life the Lord will remember us. And then we can become qualified to go back home, back to God. So I'd like to invite you to come to visit Mayapur whenever this will be possible, we don't know. I feel blessed to be amongst all of you here in this New Govardhan farm. Such a beautiful place, heavenly place, a wonderful people full of desire to serve the Lord, and so many activities for the pleasure of the Lord. Krishna is there with Radharani and Gaurnitai and Krishna Balaram. They are the owners of this farm, and we are all dedicating ourselves to their service. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to live in a harmony, like true brothers and sisters with the devotees, and develop love for Krishna. So I'd like to stop here, and maybe we can go in more interactive section. You can ask some question, any question you have. So I will try to my best ability to answer you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So any questions? Any comment? Don't be shy. Yes, Prabhu.
Were you in Mayapur the day it was attacked?
Actually, I was there the day before. It's really funny pastime, because what happened is that day I was on the top of the long buildings, and I was having some extra round to chant, because in the day I was busy fixing the van or something. So I saw in the night some people coming with a torchlight from different places and meeting each other to one place. So I don't know, because I'm from Italy, I can smell the thief from very far away. So I went immediately to my spiritual master. I told him, look, I feel something fishy. I see different people coming from different places. They're keeping something someplace. Shall I go and check? He said, I don't know, look, I'm busy now. Go and speak with the temple president. So I went to speak with Nectarian Maharaj, who was at the time the temple president. And I told him, look, Maharaj, I don't know why I feel this in my heart. There's something fishy going on, you know. Shall I go and check? He said, no, don't worry. You don't know anything in this place. The people are coming in the night with a torch to open the water for the rice field. I said, Maharaj, I see more than one person coming to put the water field, whatever you say. I think it's not correct. I had this feeling in my heart. But, you know, he said, just go to sleep. Don't worry. That was late. It was like 11 o'clock in the night. He got upset that I called him also because he was sleeping also. And you know, so the next day, and we left early in the morning, and we went to Calcutta with my spiritual master. I drove the bus, and the next night, you know, the dacoit attack. But many of them were killed, you know. One of them was killed, and they found him in the field, in the rice field, with Prabhupada in his chest. The only deity they couldn't find was Radharani, which subsequently they find it was hidden in some village under the tree in the mud, but they already cut it into pieces. Because what happened, the dacoit attacked because this dacoit, they went to the astrologer, and the astrologer told them that there is a great value in this temple, there's great. So this dacoit, they came for a few days and they checked the deity, and because we polished them very nicely, they look like gold. But they are not made of gold. As we know, it's made of 8 different metals. So they thought that the Utsav Murti of Radha and Krishna were made of gold, but they were not. So Radharani already, they cut them to test if there was gold, but many of them were shot by the devotee. They came around, they were maybe at 1 o'clock in the morning, and there were like 40, 50 people, and they all made some shouting noise, and they stick, they had bombs. They threw a bomb on Bhaktivedanta Swami leg. When he came in Calcutta, I saw his leg was completely gone. Oh, thank God, it was the leg which he had polio in one leg, so the leg, they removed it, they amputated his leg. Many other devotees, they had all sprinkled. I mean, this bomb they make, they're made from clay and with bolts and nuts and nails, and they put gunpowder, so on throwing the bomb, when it touches something, it explodes. So I was there, but I was not there. And of course, and then after that, we established Nrsimhadev for the protection of Mayapur. So I was there when the Nrsimhadev began manifested in Chennai. I was the temple president at that time. So the many pastimes connected with that also, because when the deity was almost ready, you know, the Sabadi called us one night. It was raining, which is very unusual in Chennai. It's always very hot. It was raining, and the Sabadi said, you have to take the deity away, you have to take the deity away. My whole shed got burnt. I said, how is possible? You know? But he said this deity is very powerful. And originally, when we went with Atmatattva Prabhu to request the Sapadi, I think his name was Ganapati Sapadi, and he was living very close to where we have the temple now. And we requested him to make the deity on Nrsimhadev. He said, well, I had to ask my guru first. So then he went, his guru was Shankaracharya, the Shankaracharya. So he went and asked him, and Shankaracharya said, no, you cannot make this deity, because if this deity is not worshipped properly, the whole universe can be destroyed. So he told us like that, what to do now. But then after a few days, he called us and he said, well, come, I have to speak to you. We went and speak to him again. He said, well, Shankaracharya called me again. He said he had a dream where Lord Nishingadeva appeared and told him, okay, don't worry, let Yudhasabhati make the deity, because the devotee will worship me very nicely, there will be no problem. So he got the green signal to go ahead and make the deity for us. Of course, he told us that according to Silpa Shastra, means is the technology of making a deity, that one palm leaf, which is the measurement, the measurement of the eyes, the measurement of the face, the measurement of the chest, is all measured by this measurement they have, which is an ancient system. So he say, according to this measurement, if I had to make, Prahlad Maharaj would be 1 millimeter, it would be too small, so I'll make it bigger, otherwise you cannot serve him, you cannot. Because Lord Nishingadeva was so huge, that this is when he came out of the pillar, he's very fierce, very angry. But he told us, please make sure that you worship this deity very nicely. And only brahmachari should worship this deity, sannyasi. So we maintain the standard. And Pankajangri Prabhu is in charge of worshipping the deities. Only once in a year, which comes in May, when there is Abhishekam, we give massage to the Lord. At that time, everybody or brahmanas, even Grihastha, can participate. And I do participate for many years in serving the Lord. But everybody is serving in a different way. Like the Lord has this mala made of Shalagam Shila, which are encasted in silver. So there are different devotees, even ladies that worship, they clean all the silver for the Lord, they do many services. So from when we had the deity of Nishingadeva, we didn't have any major problem with the goit. Yes, sir. Vasu Prabhu.
In 1972, Srila Prabhupada laid the foundation stone for the big temple that was going to be in Mayapur.
Yes.
15 foot, 5 by 5 hole that they dug, and him and Puri Maharaj,
yes,
they put the Mantrachesha down on
yes,
the ground there. I believe it's somewhere under the main temple room of the TOVP that's being constructed now.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so at the same time, Srila Prabhupada made a...
Maybe you can put on the microphone?
Oh,
sorry, yeah? I can hear you, but...
Srila, can you still like that?
I can hear you, but I don't know if other people can hear. Yes, now it's on.
So, yes, they laid the Srila Prabhupada laid the foundation stone for the temple made from material. He predicted it was going to be 40 stories high, and when I was there in 1990, I said, well, it's such a big temple, how many people are going to run it? Because he also predicted at that point in time, 1972, that there was going to be 50,000, that Mayapur was going to be a city of 50,000 people living there. So now, nearly 50 years later, I wonder if you could tell us approximately, when things are running normally, what is the population of Mayapur?
Well, we have people from 175 countries. We approximately have 3,500 Indian devotees and 3,500 Western devotees. And of course, some of the devotee lives within the campus, and some other devotees live outside the campus, because the campus can accommodate everybody. So there are many devotees who build houses for other devotees and projects. So totally we have around 7,000 devotees, plus we are having a floating population which goes from minimum 2,000 people to 50,000 people per day. So we have many engagement for devotees. We have tour guide, we have parikrams, And so, plus we have 3 big kitchens where we cook prasadam for all the people who comes. For 35 rupees you can buy a coupon and eat in the big kitchen, unlimited prasadam, rice, dal, sabji, which is very nice. Then we have another kitchen, got a building, plus we have 350 guest rooms, we have around 400 cows, we have 700 acres land. Now the government finally has given us permission to put all the 700 acres under one umbrella. Before we had so many different trusts, because according to the West Bengal government law you cannot hold more than 25 acres of land. So now, because our project has been delineated as a tourist project, so there are many foreigners coming from Calcutta also with the bus, with the boats, and it's become a tourist attraction, would you say, because from after you see Calcutta, there are a few things to see in Calcutta, Victoria Memorial, and a few other places, but then, okay, people would like to go outside of the city to see some place, so a lot of people come to Mayapur and they visit Mayapur, and so, but we have around 7,000 devotees. Vasu, is this okay? Where are you? All right. But of course it will become 50,000 because a lot of people are coming there, and when they come there they can feel something in their heart, they can feel some attraction for remaining there and be part of this great community. Any other question?
Just in continuation.
Yes.
Of course, most of the devotees sort of like train a Brahminical practice, according to Devivana Ashram. So is there some sort of breakdown that you can see of 7,000 devotees, that there are some sort of varnas that are, sort of prominent more so than the others?
I think by nature, people are doing business, they're doing business, and people are doing, different type of services. Because we don't identify Vaishnava within the Varna. By nature, the natural tendency of each one of us is that we all have qualities. So according to the quality that Krishna is giving to us, then we are engaging those qualities in serving the Lord. So there are many devotees who are doing business. There are shops, restaurant, import-export. There are people who are coach, and there are so many different type of devotees. But they're all devotees, so I don't know. We don't really identify them as such. Some are engaged in management. Many of them come to the temple every day for the programs. Many of them come to the festivals. So everybody is participating. When you have a lot of people, like here, we have a lot of devotees. So everybody does whatever according to the nature, because you cannot possibly do something which is outside of your nature. You can do something for some time, but then your nature will prevail and guide you to do something which you feel comfortable and happy doing it. So we don't have restrictions as such, everybody can perform devotional service. So for example, we have a shed where we build chariot for Jagannath. We build many chariots, Jagannath Ratha Yatra, with a collapsible telescope, with an extending wing. I mean, we have all kind of mechanical engineering, welding. We do maintenance for the whole Mayapur. And then there's some devotees that like cows, so they go every day and clean the cow, brush the cow, feed the cows. We don't have a machine for milking like you have here, but by hand they're milking more than 100 cows every day. And their milk goes mostly to the deities, because they have big tree altar, and also to Jagannath temple. So we have many festivals going on, and everybody participates. If people that are rich, they give donation. If people that are Los Angeles, different places. And we have Japanese Mataji, who is a designer, clothes designer, fashion. She studied for that, and she's been there for more than 30 years. She designed, Keshavi Mataji, she designed all the dress of the deities, together with a team of other devotees dedicated to do that. So we have a lot of wonderful people, a lot of wonderful devotees. Some devotee put up a new structure with 8 projectors to project the life of Lord Chaitanya. And many devotees work with the TOVP. We have about 15 buses, with each one with 10 brahmachari. They go out and distribute books, and they do program all over India. We have Namata, which is spreading the holy name through the villagers. People who are very simple people, they go village to village and preach. We had a boat which goes to villages which you cannot reach by car or bus. So we have many different activity for people to engage themselves. So there is a structure, whatever you want to do, you can plug into it. There are people translating book, and there's so many courses going on. We have Mayapur Higher Institute, where they teach how to worship the deity, how to make turbans, how to cook for the deities, how to make dresses, how to chant mantras. Janayas Prabhu is in charge of that department. And so basically, I don't think we should think of the devotee like Varna and Ashram, because we are all devotees of the Lord. So according to our nature, we engage ourselves. The main thing is the main thing. You are a devotee, you are Vaishnava. So we are trying to become Vaishnava, let's say. And therefore, in the process of engaging our natural propensity, within that there is realization of the Lord, because that's our nature. Does this answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much, Ganga. It's just pretty incredible when you read Prabhupada on read and you realise that it's not even 50 years since when Srila Prabhupada went, and it was just one big paddy field, and
yes.
That's all it was, there was nothing else. So in less than 50 years we have that. So
we still have a long way to go, so no problem. But if we are together, see, the emblem of the Roman Empire was a bunch of stick with an axle. Means you can take one stick and easily break it, but if you put a bunch of stick together, then it's almost impossible to break it. So the idea is that as long as we cooperate, Prabhupada said, you will show your love by your cooperation. So if we all cooperate on the platform, a spiritual platform of devotional service, there is place for everybody. There shouldn't be envy or enmity, because we're all coming with our baggage, but we are trying to become free from all the conditions we have and trying to become pure Vaishnavas. Yes, Mataji.
Can you tell us the story about beautiful Mayapur-katha and Srila Prabhupada's Bhajam Kutir, how they came to be worshipped? And were you ever on the boat program, the boat preaching program?
Yeah, there was a preaching program. The boat is still there, and they modified the boat. Was with the Gurukul for many, many years. But I believe that Prabhupada instructed Jayapataka Swami and Satadanya Prabhu to go and preach with the Nityapada Kamala boat. So they purchased this boat, second-hand boat actually, It was not even new, I think, I'm not sure. But they purchased this boat, it was a sailboat, and then there was to be a rope in the front, and there was a rudder, there was no engine. And so sometimes they hired people from the bank of the Ganges, and they pull the boat against the current, by pulling the boat, and they'll go. And then of course when the wind comes, they put the sail and they sail. Sometimes they went to Sundarbans, which is the biggest delta in the world, and the Ganges comes and makes so many islands. There are still tigers there and crocodiles. So and they went preaching for many, many years, and they had this deity of, beautiful deity of Nitai Pada Kamala, which are now there in the Bhajan Kutir. And so they are there, and then they have been worshipped. Also now there is a bigger deity, which is the Padayatra deity. So what happened is that this was maybe 1985. The Padayatra started and going around India, and one time, and then finally came to Mayapur. And then Lokanath Maharaj was in charge of the Padayatra at that time. So then one evening, around 8 o'clock, my spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, called me, and he said, okay, you have a toolbox with you? I said, yes, I have a toolbox. He said, okay, tonight go and sleep with the toolbox. I said, what? Why should I sleep? Toolbox, you know, the tools, like you have range hammer inside and spanners. I said, okay, no problem. So I went to sleep, you know, with a toolbox next to my head. Then somebody came and called me like 2 o'clock in the morning. Wake up, don't go, wake up. Take the toolbox, let's go. I said, where, what happened? He said, we have to go and take Gaur-Nitai. What Gaur-Nitai? He said, from the Padayatra cart. What, really? I said, okay. So we went there and we opened the bolt, and then we put it inside the Bhajan Kutir. And they told me that Jayapataka Maharaj and Lokanath Maharaj, they were discussing until 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the night. Maharaj was telling me, I'll give you a new deity, I'll make a new deity, let this deity be here, because they have been traveling all over and they give blessing to everybody, this is the place they should be. But Lokanath Maharaj didn't agree. So they were discussing all night. Finally, you know, he agreed, he had to agree, whatever. And then I went there and we put the deity back into and they're still there. And of course they made a new deity which is still traveling in the Padayatra, it's still going on in India. I think they've gone already 40 times around India from north to south, preaching Krishna consciousness. So it's very beautiful. Yes, Mataji, she has a question. Does this answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Talk a bit more about the temple of Lord Jagannath and how Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra came into ISKCON.
About Lord Chaitanya?
Rajapur, Jagannath.
Oh, Jagannath. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful story. What happened is that the deity were originally worshipped by some big Ganguli many years ago, and then the deity somehow went, you know, underground. I don't know, nobody worshipped them anymore for many years, and then they were covered with mud and ant hills. So one night in a dream came the Lord. They say, oh, we are very thirsty, you know, we are here. So this group of devotees from, not from ISKCON, but from the local village, they went and, you know, they digged a place and they found the deity. And so they established a small temple and start to worship the deity. But then what happened is that the pujari became very old and he couldn't worship anymore, was getting sick. So he thought, I will go, you know, and give this temple to ISKCON devotee there because they can worship it nicely, you know. So they came to the devotee at the time, to Janivas Prabhu, and Janivas Prabhu agreed to take the deity, to worship the deity. Then we sent some brahmachari there, and then every day they used to bring the offering from Mayapur to the Lord Jagannath. And but then when Jayapataka Maharaj came to know, he said, oh, why you have accepted the temple without, you know, first making agreement in writing, you know, first because legal aspect, you know, we shouldn't worship the deity unless we are, it's full ISKCON, under ISKCON protection. But he said, we cannot stop now because already we start worshipping. So anyhow, eventually they signed the document and everything, so he came under the name of ISKCON. And there are many, many pastimes connected with that beautiful deity of Jagannath, Subhadra, Baladeva, which are very unusual, because usually Jagannath, his face is kind of straight, but this one is kind of curved, you know, and with a big smile. So there was, I can tell one or two pastimes, there was a chokidar, we appointed one guard in the night. We put one guard there, so because that area there was nothing, it was jungle. It was full of tulsi tree and thorn bushes. So we're scared somebody will come and do something, you know, they were dacoit at the time, so thieves. So then we appointed this chokidar, we call it, or the guard in the night, you know, which his duty is like from 7 o'clock in the night to 7 o'clock in the morning. And then he was there, he was happy to do his service, he did it for a few years. But then what happened is that he got an offer, a better offer job in Calcutta. You know, similar type of job, but he was getting paid more. So he then informed the authority that, you know, okay, I had to go, you find somebody else because I need to make more money for my family. But then in the night he had a dream, and Lord Balaram started beating him on his cheek, you know, and Jagannath is telling him, beat him more, this guy's a rascal, he wants to leave our service. And Subhadra said, no, don't beat him, he's a nice devotee. No, beat him. So he wake up in the morning, he was like, oh my God, what? He said, you want to leave our service, you rascal? We'll show you, you know. You cannot leave us here alone, you cannot go away. So then in the morning he came and said, okay, I will stay. So like that, there are many, many pastimes. Another time there, we are distributing prasadam to everybody after we do the Snan Abhishekam of the Lord. And then two rickshawala people come, because even Muslim people, they come and they do Abhishek, because the Lord is there for everybody. He's the Lord of the universe, it's called Jagannath. So many Muslims, they also believe in the Lord, you know, they say God is one, and they come and pour. They do Abhishekam. So then two rickshaw people came, rickshaw pullers with a bicycle, and one of them, he got prasadam, and he wanted to give it to his friend, Khichdi, you know. And then this other person, he was a Muslim, that he didn't believe in God, so he took that and threw it away, saying, I don't want to eat this food, you know, Hindu food, and this, and he went away. So again, the Lord in the night came and beat this person so badly, say, you rascal, you reject my mercy. After so many lifetimes, you have come and I'm giving you the mercy, and you're rejecting, you're throwing, you rascal, and it's beating him like anything. So he got up in the morning, he was also shaken, he was very scared. He took bath, he came to the temple, he said, please, give me prasadam. So we gave him some fruit. He said, no, not this. I want the other one. Which other one? The khichdi. He wanted the khichdi. So they gave him the khichdi and he took it and he ate it and he was very satisfied. So there are many, many pastimes like that. The Lord is revealing. The Lord has a relationship with the devotees, and so He's always manifesting His blessing in many different ways. Is it okay? Hare Krishna. So any question from the ladies' audience inside, that side, Prabhuji's, anybody? Yes.
One more question. The temple of Madhya is that managed now by, is that temple managed now by ISKCON also?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit, because that deity was actually not a father's deity, is that right?
Something like that, but I don't remember exactly the pastimes, but there are many temples down, because we have one group of devotees who are serving all the holy tirthas, or we are helping many other temples. For example, there is in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's ancestral home, so that place, there's beautiful deities, and So ISKCON has created one trust, Bhaktivedanta Charity Trust, which go and restore all these temples where the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took place. So we want, because many of these people, they are very simple people, village, and they don't have access to funds to repair the temple. There's some old pujari, and so we go there and we put the new tiles on the floor, repaint the wall, and we make again the altar, or repair the roof if it's leaking in the rainy season, like that. So many temples, they come under the schemes of Bhaktivedanta Charity Trust, and we have funds which for helping the devotees, for helping those other temples. But personally, I don't remember these particular deities. Please forgive me.
Thank you for the
Hare Krishna. Okay, it's almost 6:30. I think everybody is maybe want to eat some prasada. Yes, today is the Goddess Day, so I'd like to thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Mayapur-katha ki, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari.